Good evening to the Board of Commissioners and to the citizens of Douglas County. Welcome to our Tuesday, December 13th, 2022 Board of Commissioners Legislative Voting Meeting. This is our last meeting of the year. We'd like to start off by saying happy holidays to everyone. Board of Commissioners, I'll call this meeting to order and I'll start with roll call. I'll start with District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III.
Present.
District 2 Commissioner and Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson.
Madam Chair, present.
Okay, District 3 Commissioner Tarenia Carthen.
Present.
District 4 Commissioner Ann Jones-Guider.
Present.
And Ramona Jackson-Jones, Chairwoman, present. Board of Commissioners, we do have an established quorum. Board of Commissioners, we have with us tonight our own Rick Martin, who's our Communications Director, who will be leading us in the invocation. And after the invocation, I ask that everyone please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone can stand, please, I would appreciate it.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Vice Chair-elect, Commissioners, and staff. I'd like to begin with a verse from the Bible, Isaiah 26:3. Thank you, Father, for promising to keep me in perfect peace when my mind is steadfast and trust in you. May we bow our heads. Our Heavenly Father, I come before you humbly to ask for your protection over our Board of Commissioners, our first responders, and all members of public safety in Douglas County. As we approach the end of the year, many find themselves fatigued, tired, exhausted, but I pray you give them all strength. We have a number of holiday events, including the holiday concerts at the courthouse, the Lee Road groundbreaking tomorrow, and the swearing-in ceremony. And they all have to do with travel. As people come and go, please keep them all safe and secure. In the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, I pray that you look after our citizens and keep them safe, and when all is said and done, please protect us all from evil. In Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Communications Director Rick Martin, for blessing us and gracing us with prayer tonight over certainly our wonderful and amazing county. And certainly I'll yield the floor to our clerk and ask if there's anyone who signed up for public comment tonight.
Yes, Madam Chairman. We had one individual sign in tonight, Ms. Melissa Medina.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to come forward.
Okay, Ms. Melissa.
And just as a reminder, you'll have 3 minutes to address the board, and if you could restate your name and your subject matter.
How are you doing, Ms. Medina? Mrs. Medina, how are you doing tonight?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Douglas County Board of Commissioners. My name is Melissa Medina. I've been a resident of Douglas County for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is for the Connect Douglas bus service, which was supposed to service the people of Douglasville. Seems to me that the buses have not been used to their full potential. We have bus stops that do not display route numbers to show their scheduled stops and destinations. There are supposed to be 2 services available to our residents. One, public transportation, which requires a fare that picks up and drops off people according to the routes they are taking. 2, there is the para-transit service, where people call for transportation that services people with ambulatory problems. Connect Douglas is not supposed to be a taxi service. Douglas County is growing by leaps and bounds. There is industry coming in all over the place, and new housing and apartments, etc. Progress is coming to Douglasville, whether you like it or not. These industries and projects will provide jobs for our Douglasville residents. Connect Douglas can help be the way to get them to those jobs. Everyone doesn't have a car or can afford a taxi service or Uber. After 4 years, we still do not have buses up and running as they were meant to. We are still watching and waiting for the bus to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Medina. Certainly we'll take this matter under advisement. And our Chairman of Transportation has taken copious notes, and we will be responding to you. Thank you so much. All right. Anyone else? Clerk, do you have anyone else for the night? Okay. With that being said, we'll just dive right into our meeting, and we'll start with our presentations. Board of Commissioners, tonight we have 4 presentations, and we'll start with the first one, which is recognition of Parks and Recreation employee Tasha Mosley for receiving the GRPA District and State Outstanding Program Awards for her innovative New Girls Guide program for girls ages 10 to 15. We have Director Gary Dukes here tonight to make the presentation. You have the floor, Director Dukes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Madam Chair, Board, a couple of weeks ago at our annual Georgia Recreation and Park Association meeting, our department was awarded the Best Innovative Program in the state. And that is directly tied to one of our staff, Tashia Mosley, who I have here with me. And we want to recognize her tonight. First, I'd like Chad to come up and tell you a little bit about Tashia, and then Tashia will tell you a little bit about the program.
Shia. Okay.
How's everybody doing?
All right.
Great, great. So I just want to tell you just a little bit about Tashia. Tashia comes from us from Mississippi. She is a young professional. This is her first full-time job, and she came to Douglas County excited to start some new programs. She's a graduate of Georgia State College in Atlanta, and she has hit the ground running. She has started this new program called Girls Guide, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her so she can explain what Girls Guide is.
So my name is Tashia Mosley, and I'm really excited that I was able to win that award for, not for Douglas County, but just for all young girls all over Georgia and all over around the world. When I think of mentoring, I go back to my roots, and I think about the word, and it talks about helping people. And when I really sat and thought about what I really wanted to do, coming into the job in Douglas County Parks and Recreation, I knew I really wanted to mentor girls around Georgia. And mentoring really means a lot to me. I know when you get a certain age, it's kind of hard to tell your mother, your uncles, your auntie, your father, your brothers, your sisters certain things. So what I did, I created a program for girls ages 10 to 15 to be able to open a safe space for them to come and tell me anything to be able to help them with whatever they need help with. And I was really blessed to win these 2 awards right here for Girls Guide for the County of Douglas.
All right. Thank you. Let's give her a hand. First and foremost, congratulations, and we would love to take a photograph with you. Let me say your name once again, Tashia. Yeah, I got it right. So you all could come up, and if you could, Director Dukes and also Assistant Director Chad, come up just come up on the dais with us, and we will take a photograph. So proud. Let's give another hand, and certainly Board of Commissioners.
Commissioner Mitchell, can I ask if you could just move the chair in front, please? If you don't mind.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, I'm on this, yes. Yes.
Rolling. Take a couple pictures here.
To Shia. There you go. I believe Director Dukes, you said this, well, we were the first in the state of Georgia to win an award as such. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
It's always nice to be number one. So with that being said, I certainly would yield the floor to the board to, if you had some comments regarding this amazing recognition from Tashai. Anyone want to say anything? I know Commissioner Carthen, I can see you bubbling over there.
Well, again, Tashia, congratulations. You know, we don't take it lightly when employees come in and they offer up their ideas, and then you had your management staff to listen, right? And so they supported you. So, and the benefit of that are the girls and the community at large. So kudos to you. Keep dreaming. Keep bringing bright ideas. That's exactly what we need here in Douglas County. Thank you so much for making your mark, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Carthen. Commissioner Guider, this is Girls' Night.
Girls' Night. Glad to be included in girls. This is an honor. I'd like to know more about what Girls Guide is about, though. Could you come and just kind of give us a recap of it? Let the audience know what that award is for.
Okay, so I come up with a session probably like every 4 sessions, maybe every 2 months, and I come up with a theme, and we talk about that theme for those 4 weeks. I know the first time when I started at the beginning of the year, so one thing that's really important to me is a vision, and we talked about vision boards. And then we talked about why it's important to have visions on the next session, and then the next session we kept it going. Why is it important to dream? Why is it important to have a mentor? So each session we talk about what's important and how you can become a better growing young girl to a queen.
Fantastic, fantastic. We need a guide for the boys, though.
We have one.
Oh, you do?
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Okay.
Shia started the program for the young ladies. We now have one for the young men. So
Outstanding, outstanding.
All right.
Yes. Congratulations.
Commissioner Mitchell, you have any words? And then,
I mean, there's not much more you can say outside of that. Congratulations, job well done, and I guess we're just so proud of you and your strong team, Gary and the entire staff, the Parks and Rec. So, job well done. I mean, you came in, boots on the ground, running and coming up with ideas and coming up with how Parks and Rec can be a better quality of life for the citizens of Douglas County. So thank you, and we truly, truly, from our hearts and this board, thank you and appreciate all that you do. Thank you again.
thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Commissioner Mitchell is the chairman of Parks and Recreations. He has 2 trophies tonight. Committee members, we need to try to catch up with him. So he has 2 for none tonight. So thank you and congratulations, committee chairman of the Parks and Recreation. Okay, I
Just
heard you.
wanted to add a little something. You know, sometimes when we introduce new ideas, sometimes people will look at us like we're crazy. And I remember introducing pickleball. You remember that, Gary? And people thought, pickleball, what is that? And now it's the most popular thing going on in the county. So good ideas come from people that have vision. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Guider. And last but not least, certainly our Vice Chairman, Kelly Robinson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I won't go long because it's going to be a long night. So that being said, again, congratulations for this. Not knowing your age, but you're younger than me. But having the forethought and the strength to I mean, I'm mentor now, and I'm mid-50s, double nickel, 56. I mentioned, well, at that age, no, and listen, this is a countywide program. She came off the blocks and made a difference. Thanks to the leadership, y'all got out of her way, y'all watered her, y'all brought life onto her, y'all set her free. Excellent executive leadership. But at the same point, you gave them something to work with, and I appreciate you advocating for it. Like, you stood up. You went to that, okay, look, you thought it was that important, that your purpose and your call was all about that. And to see you here, like, I'm just here beaming, there's not much to say because I'm very proud of you. So for that, just keep going. You're just getting started in your career. I mean, she's just getting started, her first full-time job. We got one that's leave. Look, you've been in the office longer than this lady been alive. 40 long. No, but listen to it. You got a long career to go, and if you starting out like that, I know it will be a bright future. So thank you for allowing me to make my comments, Madam Chair. I yield.
All right.
Am I died?
She said, yeah, this woman.
You know I didn't say that.
All right. I love my board. We love to have fun. So anyway, thank you, and again, congratulations. We're going to move on to our next award tonight. We have Fire Chief's Citizens Award recognition of one of our Douglas County residents, Shannon Johnson. And this award will be given by our chief, Jolivet. Jolivet is here. And then his command staff is here tonight to help present this award. Come on, Shannon. He said, I want to bring Dad with me. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. All right.
Hi.
Hi.
This is a leader, Mr. Shannon. First of all, Roderick Jolivet, Fire Chief of Douglas County, and thank you, citizens, thank you, board, for allowing us to serve. Before we get started, just be a few minutes, I want everybody to pause just for a minute and just for a second think about the firefighters in 2022 that were lost, as well as citizens. We're looking at over 100 firefighters, looking at over 3,000 citizens that were lost due to fire. And more specifically in Baltimore, January we lost 3 firefighters. And I get emotional because I think about their families, their kids, and Christmas coming and all that kind of stuff. So we're just taking a moment to say that we appreciate our responders and our citizens, and we'll get started. We're here today because this young man, Shannon Johnson, after attending class one day, the firefighters showed up and they did an educational program about fire. And he was paying attention. And through that conversation, through the education, lo and behold, he had a fire in his home. And he was quick to action. He was quick to action, and by that action, he saved himself and his family. And tonight, we want to recognize him and his family for a job well done. He took that cognition and put it with psychomotor, and he had an impact immediately on lives. And we just like to celebrate him today as a hero. And we have a trophy for him. We have a, yeah, come on. My team is a little shy. We have a plaque for him, and also we have a bag. And this particular bag, Shannon, is this bag is carried on all fire trucks and vehicles around the United States, and we give you your own personal bag. And right now you can put your toys in it, but eventually you can put your firefighter gear in it. So we just like to say we appreciate you. We thank you for your leadership. He is a leader. I seen him on TV talking. He talks better Chief Phillips. So but anyway, we'd like to just say thank you, and we'd like to present him to the board and turn it back over to Madam Chair.
Okay. I would like for... Dad, if you could you just lift Shannon up to the microphone and let him say a few words? I'm so proud of him and the family.
The bag's bigger than he is.
Don't drop you. There you go. He has his trophy.
Hello.
Hello. So you want to tell us about what you've done to help with saving your family from a fire? Would you like to tell us a little bit about it, Shannon?
So I was in the room that had the fire, and I smelled the smoke, so I went in the living room and I told my mom, and then she told me to go outside and take my sister, so I did, and then she called the fire department and they came.
All right. We would like to take a photograph with you. Is that okay, Shannon, with your trophies? And we can go down, board. We'll come down. We're going to come down. All right. Oh, wow. Congratulations again, Shannon. We appreciate you. And thank you so much, Fire Chief Jolivet and your entire command staff for always recognizing our citizens for their heroic moments. So thank you. We're going to move on to the next item on the presentations is recognition of Fire and EMS Department Team Leader, Deputy Fire Chief Eric Phillips, Administration for receiving a redesignation as a Fire Chief Officer, CFO, by the Commission on Professional Credentialing. We have Chief Jolivet once again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, citizens. Team, come on one more time. You too, Jim. This award is, it deals with professional credentialing from the Center of Public Safety of Excellence. And before we say a few words and give Chief Phillips what he's earned, I'd like to just thank the citizens, because who paid for your redesignation?
Board of Commission and these citizens.
Thank you. So we want to thank our citizens and let them know that this particular credentialing is a process where it helps make the community better. It prepare our personnel for development. And so before I say anything, will you come forward?
Sure.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners, citizens of Douglas County. This letter was written by the Center for Public Safety Excellence, and it reads, Dear Chief Phillips, congratulations on June 7th, 2022. You were redesignated as a Chief Fire Officer, CFO, by the Commission on Professional Credentialing. You have earned the professional designation as witnessed by a team of your peers and members of the Commission on Professional Credentialing. You have demonstrated through your education, leadership, and management skills that you possess the requisite knowledge, skills, and abilities required for the fire and emergency services profession. Please note that the Chief Fire Officer designation is valid for 3 years. To continue to keep your designation, you will need to show that you have continued to develop as a CFO in 4 areas: professional development, professional contributions, active association membership, and community involvement. On behalf of the Commission on Professional Credentialing, we commend your efforts and dedication in achieving this personal and professional milestone. Sincerely, Mike Higgins, CPC Program Manager. Congratulations, Chief Phillips.
All right.
Now, I like to say in the in the world, there's only 1,764 CFOs in the world. In Georgia, we have 60. In Metro Atlanta, we have maybe 9 or 10. And this is a very prestigious award, but what it does is they talked about the education, development, all those things make a department great, and also makes a county great. So we just like to present this award to Chief Phillips. It's something that you get the first time, you just continue to get, every 3 years you have to be redesignated. And he put forth the effort, the commitment, everything. I'd like to say thank you and job well done, and I'd like to present this to you.
Thank you,
Fire
Chief.
Chief. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
So I present this back to Madam Chair, and from one CFO to another, congratulations.
Yes. You have any words to impart, Chief Phillips?
Yes, I would like to thank the Board of Commissioners and just this community, because when I came to this community, I was wondering, was I going to be able to fit into this community? And this community has adopted me. I love being here. And it's all part of our community engagement piece, which falls right in line with continuous improvement. And that's what this says, that I continue my education to better this community, my commitment and community engagement to better this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give it a hand. We're going to step down and take a photograph with you. That's okay. You get our exercise. All right, congratulations again, Deputy Fire Chief Eric Phillips. We're going to move on to our last presentation, Board of Commissioners, just a customer service presentation. And this presentation would be rendered by our Assistant County Administrator, Tiffany Stewart-Stanley. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners. So I'm excited to be before you today for our Customer Service Champion Awards. As you all know, we have over 1,200 team members here at Douglas County. And I will tell you, I work with all of our team members every day, and I see people work so hard. And it takes each and every last one of these team members to keep this county moving forward. And so we are working hard to recognize those employees that are going the extra mile. As a part of our customer service, new customer service initiatives, Douglas Delivers, because we all know that Douglas County delivers on public service. We work hard every day to deliver on exceptional and superior public service. And so today I'm here to recognize some of our individuals who have been nominated by their counterparts to receive recognition. On November 16th, you'll see on your screens, we held a ceremony where they were recognized by staff for their contributions to Douglas County in customer service. I see these as our leaders in customer service. They are setting standards in customer service. And so I'm just happy to be here today, and I am excited to serve with these team members. So at this point, I will present to you our 2022 Douglas County Customer Service Champion Awards. And we do have some of them here with us today. When I call your name, if you will come up, if your director is here, please come up with your nominee. Mike James, Library Services, nominated by Lindy Moore. Don Paul, Juvenile Services, nominated by Jennifer King. And we have our Director, Jennifer King, and our Deputy Director, Jamie, coming up with Davenport, coming up with her. Aziza Gilbert from Senior Services, nominated by Dr. Consuela Gilchrist. Not here tonight, okay. Ms. Pam Austin Jackson, the Department of Transportation, nominated by Director Miguel Valentin. Fire Chief Roderick Jolivet, who was nominated by the Fire and EMS Department. Ms. Aubrey Britt, who was nominated by Deputy County Administrator Frederick Perry. Thank you. Mr. John Hausman, Animal Services, nominated by Director Vanessa Frankikowski. Next is Ms. Anna Vaughn Upshaw, State Court, nominated by Judge Fortner and Judge Barker. All right. Mr. Michael Wise, our Diversion Supervisor, nominated by Solicitor General Sonia Compton. Mr. Joseph Starks, Record Clerk, nominated by Annetta Stambridge. Ms. Caitlin Fowler, Development Services, nominated by Managing Director James Worthington. Ms. Adrene Chavot in appraisal, nominated by Steve Balfour. Khalil Hudson, Tax Commissioner's Office, nominated by Tax Commissioner Greg Baker. Jenny Eschenberg, Fire and EMS, nominated by Chief Jolivet. Ms. Becky Jennings, Public Works, nominated by Director Heath Coward. Ms. Kimberly Stockton, Solid Waste, nominated by Managing Director Heath Coward. Ms. Gwinnetta Shante Webb, Fleet Management, nominated by Managing Director Heath Coward. Mr. Elliot Buggs, Information Systems, nominated by Chief Technology Officer Alex Betancourt. Mr. Adam Bennett, E911, nominated by Director Katrina Harley. Tammy Cochran, Parks and Recreation, nominated by Director Gary Dukes. And then, so we also have 5 other individuals that we want to recognize. When we started working on our customer service initiative, one of the things that I wanted was a customer service team. So we scoured the county, talking with directors, talking with staff to find the best of the best. And so we actually have a customer service team at Douglas County, and they have been hard at work. They have put together trainings already. We actually have a training tomorrow from 1 to 5 where we have 50 individuals from the county that will be coming to get customer service training. So when I put this team together, I did not realize that they were going to work at the speed that they are working. And now when I tell you they are delivering, they are delivering. So at this time, I want to recognize our customer service team. So, yes, thank you. Okay. All right. First, I'm going to call up Ms. Katie Gordon. Is Ms. Katie Gordon here with us? Oh, she's not here with us tonight. Ms. Rhonda Evans from our Human Resources Department. And this award reads, Outstanding Customer Service Team Award. In honor of your superior performance and leadership in customer service, we hereby present Rhonda Evans with this award in recognition of your dedication to the principles and the ideals of the organization, commitment to building a culture of service, and steadfast support in transforming Douglas County. We are grateful for your innovation and teamwork. Our next team award goes to Ms. Portia Washington from Senior Services. Our next award goes to Miss Melanie Stinson. She is the first voice when you call Douglas County, when you have a question, and she does that job so well. Melanie Stinson, she's not here with us tonight, but I wanted to recognize her. And then I want to recognize our team lead. When I asked Ms. Cottle, we needed someone to come in and do constituent services. And when we put her in charge, I had no idea how great of a job she was going to do and how fast she was going to get us moving. And so I want to give her an award. She does not know this, but I want to give her an award because of the great job that she's doing leading this customer service team. So I give this to Ms. Wendy Cottle. And thank you all so much for your hard work. Like I told you when we met, I'm going to expect more from you. I want you to be the leaders and lead the way here in Douglas County, because you've already shined a light, and I have to say, I enjoy working with you, and I can speak for everyone when I say that, so thank you.
All right, thank you. Very, very good. All right, Board of Commissioners, certainly, I would love to take photographs.
We'll get a picture of that.
Yeah, we're going to have to go down and see what we can do. I need a Zoom camera, but we're coming down. And congratulations to all our recipients today. We're coming down, the Board of Commissioners, to take a photograph.
Yes, we have to do this in batches. Okay, maybe you'll.
Stand right here, everybody just stand right here.
Oh.
Don't go in the head.
Yeah. We're good?
Yes. Yes.
I see you, Chad, doing a panoramic view.
Right.
Thank you.
Michael! Yeah.
Again, congratulations to our customer service awardees, and thank you for a job well done. Board of Commissioners, we're going to move right into the approval of our minutes, but I'll allow everyone to exit the room who's, yeah, let me just give them just a second, Board. Just trying to give our citizens an opportunity to, those who are leaving, to exit the room so we could resume our meeting. Just a few seconds. Board. Board of Commissioners, we're moving right into the approval of our minutes, tab 1, 2, and 3. Board of Commissioners, you have before you the commission meeting minutes of November 29, 2022, the work session minutes of November 28, 2022, and the executive session minutes of November 28, 2022. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions that need to be made, Board?
Amen.
Being none, the minutes stand approved. Board of Commissioners, tonight we are at the point of a resolution, what we've been waiting for tonight, tab number 4, resolution to adopt the 2023 budget. And our Chief Financial Officer, Ramona Bivens, will present to us tonight. And you have the floor, Chief Financial Officer Ramona Bivens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Mr. Vice Chair and Commissioners. Let me get my PowerPoint put up here. So this evening you have before you a resolution to approve the 2023 Douglas County budget. We had a public hearing, I believe, on November 29th, when we presented the proposed budget. And at that time, the general fund budget proposed was $124,912,814. And that was a balanced budget with our revenues and expenditures equaling. Since that time, we had a few changes to the budget. However, they had no impact, but we did need to put them into on record because they do need to be approved as part of the budget. So a couple of things we added was the purchasing analyst for the purchasing department, salaries, benefits, and any ancillary expenditures that go along with a new employee. That amount is $79,450. We added $65,000 for other contracted services to the Internal Affairs Department for the strategic plan consulting. And then we're transferring some communication staff to that same department and moving that total would be $125,030. So the total additions was $269,480. And at the top, when we have reductions, we reduced some funding that we had available, had set aside for any contingencies that may have come up during this process, and as well as the cost from communications. So it had a net zero impact to the budget. The general operating fund, again, as we stated, we have recurring revenues of $121,940,482. That did not change from the budget hearing. Our non-recurring revenues were the transfer ins from ARPA of $2,972,332. That's what we presented at the budget hearing. That number remains the same. For total revenues for general operating fund of $124,912,814. On the expenditure side, we have the same amount that was presented during the budget hearing and the same amount for the post-hearing. The only changes that we had a keying error that we had to correct. That's why you see a $30 in and out. Again, a zero impact. The general fund balance we have projected for 2023, when you look at recurring revenues and the transfer-ins from ARPA and our expenditures, we are not using any fund balance to balance the budget this year. So we are anticipating a beginning fund balance of $43,487,767, and we anticipate ending with that same amount, as we will not, or we have not anticipated using any of those funds to balance the budget. That fund balance is 35% of our expenditures. We have 30% that we will need to reserve for capital outlay and capital grant matching, and that amount is estimated to be $7.5 million, leaving an estimated unrestricted fund balance of $35.9 million, which is 29% of our expenditures. If you recall, we do have a minimum fund balance requirement of 15% of our expenditures, and that amount is $18.7 million. So as you can see, we anticipate having in excess of that required amount. I just wanted to make sure you all had that information as well. And then for fiscal year 2023, all other funds, what was presented at the budget hearing, nothing has changed for those. So we have special revenue funds in the amount of $48,121,597. Our capital projects funds, nothing changed there, $17,015,844. Debt service, we have no debt service at this time. Enterprise funds, we have $9,276,120. Internal service fund, $17,759,229. And we're asking to adopt a total all funds, $217,085,604. So the resolution, do I need to read the resolution, Madam Chair, or?
Please,
Okay.
if you would.
All right, so the resolution reads as follows. Be it resolved that the 2023 Douglas County budget be as follows. Total general fund, $124,912,814. All other funds, special revenue funds, animal control services, $1,850,235. District attorney, $362,180. Drug abuse treatment and education, $285,100. Emergency telephone system, or E911, $3,384,246. Fire protection services and EMS, $22,823,791. Hotel motel tax fund, $930,000. The Law Library Fund, $624,866. The Neighborhood Stabilization Program, $250,000. Sheriff Asset Forfeiture Funds, $2,637,627. The Sheriff Inmate Commissary Funds, $616,393. Sheriff Other Programs, $42,319. Sidewalk Funds, $25,053. State Court Technology Fund, $57,378. Unincorporated Area Special District Funds, $13,988,466. Victim Assistance Funds, $243,943. Total Special Revenue Funds, $48,121,597. Capital Project Funds, 2016 SPLOST Capital Projects, $17,015,844. That would be the total for the capital projects. Enterprise Fund, we have Connect Douglas, $5,725,389. And the Solid Waste Disposal Funds of $3,550,731, with the total enterprise funds of $9,276,120. And final funds is the internal service funds. That's where we have our self-insurance for our medical and dental, $17,003,229. Workers' compensation, $756,000. Total internal service funds, $17,759,229. Total all funds, $217,085,604. And also, there's a note that the insurance premium tax of $7,374,871 is part of the $11,376,848 of total budgeted revenue in the Unincorporated Area Service District Fund. All revenue sources from this fund are used for services that are primarily for the benefit of the unincorporated area. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam CFO.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners, do you have any questions for the Madam CFO or remarks? Okay. If that's the case, I'll call the question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam CFO. Board of- okay. Hold on, wait 1 minute, Madam CFO. Okay. Commissioner Mitchell has.
Just one. I know this may be a last-minute possible addition, and I may need Rosalind to kind of help us out with this whole process. I know we had a conversation about this whole possibility with the judicial side of things, that there's a need in the communication/IT side of things that I think there's a huge dismay in that judicial side of things. So what I've asked of this board to say from the contingency funds, which it shouldn't have an impact, it shouldn't be no problem, but roughly about $500,000 to be the down payment of this particular item to get that judicial side of things kind of up to snuff. So Rosalind, if you help me out to say what kind of impact that would have and where we could move those funds. And you too, Ms. Biffen, you might could kind of go along with that. But that way, so we can all hear it and tell me what kind of impact, if any, that pull of shift of dollars will have, and then I'll make my last comment.
Yes, certainly, Commissioner Mitchell. Rosalind and I did speak about this today, and I think we both concur at this time we have a balanced budget, and there's no room in our current sources of revenue to fund that large amount. Because it is a capital item, it would or could come from fund balance if the board agreed to move in that direction.
Got it. Okay.
You have any further?
Right.
So the contingency that we have, where are my cheat notes? I know there's $450,000 set aside for commissioners at administration, And there's an additional $276,000 that we had available just in the event that there was some other things that came up.
Right, and that's why I said it shouldn't have had an impact, though, correct?
So that, if you use the contingency, that would leave less contingency. So yes, so
Right,
that is an
right.
option as well to
Right.
use. Monster, do you have that, the total? I have to dig through my papers here, hold on. Because I have it, I just got to find it.
Roughly about 7 plus, I
So
think
it's
it was.
$726,000 total, again, with $450,000 that set aside are allocated for the commissioner's administration, and then the balance for any other things that may come up outside of that.
Right. And-
So if we took this, that would reduce that amount that the commissioners would have available to use next year. So
Got it.
that is an option.
Got it. And that was
Okay.
my thought, to pull it from there, based on the mere fact of just this conversation here, though. However, that will be the impact, and, but do understand that need. I don't know if any of us have had the time to go by and be a part of the judicial side of things, and kind of how they're having conversations with the public, how they're having conversations with the bailiffs and attorneys when they're in their space of doing business. I think we're way off, and it's not only it's a bad situation, but it's a safety hazard. So, but I had a chance to see it firsthand, and I thought we at least could start there and take some of the SPLOST dollars and kind of continue that particular process. But that's kind of where I would suggest that we at least take that approach, in hopes that we can kind of get that started on that end. And last but not least, what impact would the sheriff had requested, that 5% additional? If we took and did half of that, what would that number be if we just did half of that?
If I'm not mistaken, the amount was it 3 million for the 5%? So it was about 600, it's 1.2 was the total, so $600,000.
Roughly, so.
Yes, sir.
And after having another conversation with him on that need, and hearing from the general public about their request of funding and doing a lot more and to public safety, I kind of came to the resolve, maybe we could at least try to at least step in the right direction, and that may be a half, if this board so chooses to do so, but if not, then we'll kind of move forward. But those are my additional requests that we had a conversation about yesterday, so. Okay. And I'll yield back.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other? Commissioner Carthen, you have the floor. Thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell.
No problem. I just wanted to request I had a chance to go by the Public Works, and our men and women in Public Works were really in need of upgraded trailers and upgraded building. I think I spoke with you before about that, Chairman Jones. I just wanted to see if that could be included in the budget as well. We definitely need to upgrade those facilities, whether we take it out of capital outlay or whether we take it out of other possible funds. I don't know if Madam ACA has an idea about that, but if we could include that. As a matter of fact, Manager Heath, if you could come forward and possibly give me some numbers, I'd appreciate it.
So I can't give you the exact number.
Okay.
But what we talked about today in the transportation meeting is addressing the overall need for a new building, or using the existing building to either retrofit or to rebuild. And
Okay.
we're all on one page pretty much, that we can rebuild and add to, what we have now. So
Okay.
there was lots of support across the committee.
Wonderful.
So it was really good news for us.
Okay,
But
wonderful.
that's
So it
as
will
far
be
as we got
addressed.
right there. Everything's
Got you.
in the right direction, though.
Got you. I didn't want you to think I left you out.
No,
So.
thank you.
All right, thank you. So if this board could, when Manager Heath comes back with those numbers, make sure that this board hopefully is in agreement. I hear it's probably coming out of transportation, so I'm glad that the committee chair took that up, and I know it's something that we all need. So I'm glad to hear it's going in the right direction, but just didn't want to leave them out because they do such good work across the county. With that, Madam Chair, I yield.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Carthen. Commissioner Guider, you have the floor.
I would just like for someone to explain what they were talking about with the IT department, for the judicial side, what department, whatever. This is the first I've heard of it, and I concur that we should work toward increasing the sheriff's office pay scale, because we are in competition with every county around. We've got a large shortage. It doesn't matter how many cars we order for them in the splosh. If you don't have a man in that car, they don't do any good. And the splosh is going to pay for a lot of the vehicles, so we need to look at manning those vehicles for the safety of the community, the number one priority of the people. But could someone just explain? I just need to know more about
Sure.
some IT thing.
Well, it's not just some IT, it's a part of IT and a part of programming, where just like these microphones we use, when the judges are actually having their dialect with those that are pleading their case, they're having to makeshift equipment and during their operation to kind of get through that particular process. You probably have to see it to understand it, but I think Alex and others who understand that type of equipment that you see what you're broadcasting on today is what we're speaking of, or what their needs are. But I'm trying to this is the down payment of what we call for several from the state, the probate judge and others that need that within their rooms to actually operate. So just from an operational perspective,
Is this audio equipment?
yes, audio equipment.
Oh, you said
yes.
IT, so I
Well,
was
it's
thinking
kind of in between both
computers.
programming and IT. So that's why I said I use them both.
Okay, so they need new microphones in the courtrooms, is that right?
And microphones, equipment from the mic processors, all of the equipment that comes along with audio.
And was this a BIR in their original budget?
I would think it probably was. I didn't look that far. I mean, I didn't check to see.
Bivens, maybe Miss Bivens. Was this a BIR that was cut?
Which court do you know which court requested it?
Well, I'm speaking of all the courts, but if you want to start with Judge Adams, we could start there.
Because I'm looking at, because they were submitted, things that were submitted were, I'm just looking for something that says 500,000.
I
just don't like last-minute things. I mean, we
I don't
had a
either.
work session yesterday that
Right.
it was not
I don't
brought
like
up,
last minute
so-
either. I get it, Commissioner Guider, but it's one of those that, as you know, we're in the midst of the storm, and I just figured we need to bring this up as quickly as possible to make sure that this don't go unnoticed. As you talked about, we need the cars. Oh, we need the bodies in the cars. You're absolutely correct. This is one of those types of situations.
The floor has been yielded. The chair's been yielded. Commissioner Guider, you still have the floor.
I'm waiting on Ms. Bivens. She was going to say whether or not it was a BIR.
And while you look at Ms. Vivens, I think there probably was a BIR in many past moments. However, the question is where it is today, then you can hopefully share that with Commissioner Guider and myself.
So the request actually came through IT.
Okay.
It was $150,000.
Got it.
It was a BIR in the IT
Yes, ma'am,
department,
from the IT department.
but it was cut.
It wasn't on the list of recommendations.
Okay, but it wasn't ever brought up to us in our budget retreat and yesterday at the work session. I just don't like to have these last-minute things, because we pretty well was on the same page with the budget, and then we start doing this. But I'm not going to say no to the sheriff's office for sure, too. But if this is something that was cut, we just need to let the department heads know, make your case as strong as you can. Even if you want to contact your commissioners at the time, make your case ahead of time so that we don't get here at the last minute and have to start redoing the whole budget, so, but I do concur about the sheriff's office. I'd like to
Yeah.
give him 5%, but,
Well,
And-
can I add before you do that?
Sure.
So with that, I'm with you, that you're only speaking from Judge Adams' court. But overall is what I'm trying to look at, to try to get the down payment for the entire judicial system. However, I'm confident to say that there's some ARPA money that maybe, Madam Tiffany, you might could actually kind of speak to that. So
Speak to that.
I use the contingency as a springboard, but I'm open to say whether there's ARPA funds, contingency fund, or SPLOST dollars that are in the future that's forthcoming. That's why I said this is really, guys, the down payment. And I know you spoke about it like $102 or $200,000 from, okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
All right, the floor has been yielded back to Madam Chair. Madam Goddard still has the floor recognized initially. Go ahead, Madam Chair.
well, I will yield it to Tiffany.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. So you are correct. There was a request in the budget made by our Information Services Director for $150,000 to upgrade the AV system for the courts. And so there
All
are.
courts.
It wasn't all courts out, all courts is what he's saying the need is. CFO Bivens is suggesting capital as a possible option for the board to consider. We have allocated the ARPA funding, however, and there are going to be projects that are not, we already know that there's going to be some additional monies left. And so we will be coming back to you. We are going to have to reallocate probably every year until ARPA is finished. I can promise you that. And so we will definitely, if it is the board's will, look at that time if we don't do anything with it today and make that pending direction from the Board of Commissioners.
So you are saying that the funds are going to probably be available. We don't have to do anything with this budget.
That is up to the board, but
Well,
there
I
will
mean,
be, but there will be some.
You think there's going to be funds
Yes.
available to fund the audible, audio
Yes.
equipment for the courtrooms?
Yes, we have funded, I believe, around $500,000, Alex, or something close to that, in equipment for the studio and things of that nature, and IT. So we can definitely, I can safely say that that's something that we can do through ARPA. And I can think of a couple projects right now that we will be using other funding sources for. We've gotten some things in the works that will be coming to you guys soon that we'll be able to use some additional funding for instead of the ARPA if the board chooses to allocate that funding for something else.
So my suggestion is leave the audio equipment to a future meeting because I think the funding's going to be there. But I would like to address the sheriff's office. With that, I yield back.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner Guida. Vice Chairman Robinson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not used to going last. I'm getting used to this, going last here. My last dance. So, all right, I've heard, I think I concur with staff's recommendation, the budget's what it is. I do recognize that there's some funding options. I want to go down this fund balance because this is important. This is something we talked about in our finance committee. So, all right, Rosalind and Director Bivens, let's talk about this. So you said 44 million. Let's break this down. My math problem. Educate y'all. Break it down. 44 million.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Reserve versus restricted versus assigned. Just go down the list like we did earlier. Walk us through to show you what the net difference is.
Okay.
So there's not an illusion of what's here.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Excuse me. So the ending unassigned fund balance is the $43.5 million.
Okay.
What we do, how we calculate the reserves for the capital outlay and capital grant match, we deduct the required minimum fund balance, which is the $18.7 million, and take out 20 and 15% for those. So that's where the $7,559,000 was applied.
So we took 18 million out. That's what now?
We took 18 million out of the 43. Hold
Yep.
on,
Okay,
18.7.
what is that for? What's the 18 million?
That is the minimum fund balance requirement.
Policy, but base, got it.
Yes.
15%.
So in the remaining funds, what we did is we took that and that's where we reserved the capital outlay and the capital grant match, which the 20% and 15% each, respectively.
So add those up. So we got
7.
43 minus 18, do the math, give us those literal outcomes. So minus 18, minus these two other numbers.
Comes
That
up to
is
7 million.
24, right at 25, I think it's $25 million. So then we took 20% of that, which is $4,950,000, and that's what would be reserved for capital outlay, which is one of Commissioner Mitchell's why I said I think I have another funding source that could come out of, because we do have about $2.9 million already on capital from the recommended PATSIs for different, for various departments that were submitted in the BIRs. That could be funded out of this $4.9 million. So that still leaves $2 million for other capital that may come up. But the board, of course, those haven't been approved. We would have to bring this before the board to approve those.
All right, so you said 4.9.
Yes, sir.
And you said 2.9 were a set of PATSIs, BRs, whatever you want to call them.
Yes.
All right. And we're talking about this current year. I need Director Valentine, come on down here for a minute, please. Let's just merge these committees real quickly. All right. Director Valentine, you talked about capital and the need for things to be funded above and beyond. Please explain earlier, we talked about our SPLOS 2.0. We talked about the need to make our matches, on stuff that's already in play. Our TIP projects, the top 3 projects, that's pure cash out of what? The fund balance. Can you explain your numbers for us real quick?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Good evening.
The discussion this afternoon at the Transportation Committee centered around projects that were initially in the 2016 SPLOST, but could not be completed. And so those projects are going to be started to some extent, perhaps some of the initial steps, and then they will be incorporated into the upcoming SPLOST. So that is one category of projects. There are 6 of those. There was a $200,000 allocation to get them started, but there is no funding left beyond that on all of those projects. In addition, there are projects that are partially underway. Some of the design, such as the Chapel Hill widening project, the design is underway. The right-of-way acquisition is funded, but there is no construction funding. That project would probably need another $4 million to complete. The 6 projects that are outstanding from the 2016 SPLOST, probably between all of them are about $10 to $12 million. The TIP projects are also funded for the PE phase, or the preliminary engineering phase. Some of them have some of the right-of-way funding in place. The Chapel Hill used to be called DDI, it's no longer DDI. That project has the PE, the right-of-way phase funded, and some of the construction funds as well, but it's not 100% funded. So that is going to need probably another couple of $1 million to get it delivered. So the other TIP projects are extremely well. They're underfunded to the extent that they're in the very early stages of design. We were lucky that recently the ARC awarded some federal funding to do some of the design work and some of the right-of-way acquisition work, but they do not have any of the construction funding in place except for the Lee Road Phase 1 that has a little bit of funding allocated for that, And as I mentioned before, the Chapel Hill widening project has about $4 million for the construction phase.
Okay, that's good enough. No, that's good enough. So what I heard, we had $4.9 million that was available according to the Madam CFO. We've got roughly $2 million out of that could be used for something. My question is that in the capital improvement fund that gets funded when we go above the 15%? Or is that part of the capital transportation fund that we fund from time to time, like moments like this? Roslyn, somebody.
My recollection is, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is that there was a set aside for the match that was outside of the old capital transportation fund. It was part of the infrastructure set aside from the budget last year, when there was an application for, I believe, close to $24 million in federal funds. The board had to pass a resolution matching or essentially committing to the match. That match, if we had received all of the funding, was going to be around $5 million. And we figured that it would take about 4 years to deliver on those projects. And there was a set aside, if I remember correctly, $1.2 million last year out of this infrastructure capital fund set aside. And the understanding was, at least based on my recollection, that every year you would do the same to come up with the required match.
I'm waiting for my answer. I won't make this long because this shouldn't be long. I just want the answer to my math ball. How much is left over in our capital, either the improvement plan, the policy we put in place that we will fund above the 15%, or from time to time, the board has agreed to put chunks of money or appropriations over into the capital transportation fund. I need my, take your time.
So, according to Rosalind, she just looked it up, it's $1,074,000 sitting there right now.
How much?
1074.
1074, yeah, $1,074,000
$1 million bucks. So
Yes.
all we got left. So
for this year.
For this year, but what's left? So you got your fund balance, not your budget. I'm saying what's left? What is in that?
Gotcha. Okay, so $35.9 million on the fund balance?
Yes, that's what we're asking for.
Okay, yes, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. So after we set aside the 20% for the capital outlay and then the 15% for the, 10% for the capital grant match,
Yep.
well, it leaves us $35.9 million unrestricted.
Okay? It's just unrestricted.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so now I'm back to your lack of TANs, your capacity to be able to float this, right?
Yes.
All right. Your desire to go to Wall Street with no debt and having a nice, and I'm back to what is our priorities. We're just completing a SPLOST, and we're about to kick off a SPLOST. And I'm just going to bring this full circle. If I had to make nobody's asking me, but I figured I'd just offer it up. You got a SPLOST, brand new SPLOST that has facilities. You have admin in there as well as fleet. Both of those were the two assets that we were supposed to be building in this SPLOST if people were paying attention. You got a funding mechanism. You want to build out this courthouse and move us, or just build this out only? Have at it. Got $12 million. Have at it. I get it. Know where to pull the buckets from money. I mean, you're going to retrofit this place anyway, whether you choose to move or not move. You got a proper funding mechanism that the people said, okay, they agreed. All right, so that took care of that one. I'm in, as long as it comes from that and not that fund balance. You got a SPLOST, you got a mechanism. The other thing is that your cash is pure, guys. Don't get caught here. You guys have to reconcile for the Board of Commissioners. Like, no, guys, we've been digging into this. We got to wait till our first meeting. Like, guys, it's not what you think. Yeah, we're solid, but we ain't that flush. And it's going to force us to make priorities. And it needs to be an open, all 5 of us sitting down like, all right, guys, make sure we're on the same page. Because you come with that last minute like it's going to get knocked out. Like, no, but you forgot about these 5 things over here that you already committed to. Y'all got to be careful with this. I've been driving this home like, guys, see all of it. You got a capital improvement plan that's long. You got the other judge with a vault that need to be built for $300 grand. All that can come out this same, you got us lost. Now, thank you, public. Now, we shouldn't have to force capital expenditures inside our checking account, as I call it. I mean, I got the fund balance. I get it. I get the ARPA. Pull from that. Sounds good. Y'all want to knock some projects off that y'all already put in play? Sounds good. I can support that as is. Y'all want to agree to knock off something in that technology bucket? Sounds good to me. If it's really technology, sounds good. I don't argue with that. But I just don't pull that from our fund balance. It's too delicate. You finally got it healthy, and we're going to bleed off, and we're going to do just like the prior administration. You begin to bleed off. Just to get stuff because you got multiple. We didn't have the funding mechanisms back then that we got now. You got 2 spots sitting on cash like that and federal ARPA money. There's no reason you should have to even touch the fund balance. You got more than enough capital if you just think about what you've got and can appreciate what you do have. But that's my thought. All right, I'm gonna let that go. Now, I'm going to move on. All right, so as far as the salaries, no, I'm just no. I mean, we've taken care of it. I've taken my position on that. I'm not going to argue it. I get it. I'm not opposed to it, but we just did 10, we did 5. Pick it up. You know, if the board wants to take it up later, but I have no problem and no fear of taking positions. Right? I'm fine. Again, where are you going to pull it from? It's reoccurring. Like, okay, you can play the float game. It's like, okay, I'm going to stay out of this conversation. You undermine the very same thing that you said you wouldn't do or you got out of. Swallow what you got. We just put 10 points up this year. And 5 next year. Right? I mean, I get it. I get it, but I finally read the paper. It was read to me. And I'm like, okay, we do care. I really do care. I've never backed off. And the marginalization of my vote, of whether I choose to put it behind the assets, because that's what was asked for. It's not my job out of District 2 to carry the weight of the sheriff. My job is to vote to make sure that we do proper care. I did. I'm the one that advocated that last year. It took the board to agree to it, but please don't confuse what District 2's position was. It was very clear. Now, y'all can take a whole meal off the top and really fund this, but don't play with this reoccurring revenue and stuff like you can really handle this. Don't do that. You're being delusional about what you're looking at math-wise. We're good. I know Madam CFO is not going to let us think like, okay, guys, how y'all going to do this? If it wasn't for that ARPA, we not now. It bought us time. Remember go back and look at the tapes, since we like looking at tapes. It was to buy us time to grow it big enough so we could swallow, like the snake has to stretch, so we can get that in. That's what we did. Now you got to pay for this. This is real reoccurring, and I'm like, look, quit slipping stuff. And like, oh, this is gonna catch somebody. Madam Chair, you better hold. I ain't gonna be able to bail y'all out in the future. With terminology that says, guys, what are you doing? You're in a good place. There's nothing wrong with your budget, but please don't tinker with this. Don't get yourself caught up. Man, look at what you already got to deal with. All right, but as relationship, I got it. I mean, again, we're gonna focus on, he told me, now my conversation was about cars. I can't speak for 4 other people. I know my conversation was about when we as a full board said that what? Public safety, transportation, and economic development were the #1 things last year. $85 million. I'm staying on point. I don't bend. I don't forget. That's what about assets. Like, okay, we're coming. Let's see if we can get a new SPLOS. We did, we got it. That's my priority. Now the liquidity came later. I got you, we'll do that too. But it's just not about the sheriff. That was my offense. I've got fire. I got EMS. I got coroner. I got E911. I have all of those that I have to care for. And so it made it a false argument to say just about like, no, I'm not doing that no more. I did that with that jail with that, like, no. You take everything and concentrate in one area, it's imbalanced. Be balanced. So I'm no. I have no problem in the future, but I'm like, we did good. Don't feel bad about it. I just don't see tinkering with the budget right now to accommodate that. You guys did well. You cut $19 million out. These same electeds asking. All right, I'm going to move on. I know we're going to come back, Madam Chair, so I yield the floor for now. I'm good.
Okay. Any other remarks, board? Okay, if there are no further remarks, I'll call the question. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve the resolution to adopt the 2023 budget? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second, board? Second. We have a motion and a second, board. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have.
I do, Madam Chair.
Okay.
All right, let me cover a couple things here. So let's jump right in this. So as it relates to a priority, board will eventually pass a budget. Don't worry, they're going to have to. Again, we got other things like SES lawsuit we'll need support on. All right, let's get at this. So, county charter. As a priority for legal services, that's something I think we need to look at. All right, so these are just declarations I'm making, not as a condition, but it should be a focus. Get the county charter cleaned up. Second, constitutional officers. I need you to pay attention to my words. Constitutional officers, while I know that they have power, I got to say this from the floor because this is for protection of staff. This is constitutional officers. You guys want to get reimbursed for expenses, then just like us, it's got to be in front of us, in the public's eye. I'm going to leave that there. You guys know who you are. Constitutional officers, when you're looking to get reimbursed using personal expenses to facilitate your operation, you got to have detail. And I think that, and I'm not opposed to, and I know that staff is going to come with a recommendation and a policy for the board to adhere to. I get legal rights, but I also know regulatory. And regulatory says, ooh, you got to give an account for them gift cards. Ooh. Second point. I'm going to keep this moving. All right, let me go. Merit system. Let's go down my list. That is something I think that should be a priority. I see we're tinkering with things on the agenda later on regarding employment contracts. And I think that I'm hoping that some kind of way, while I'll miss Ms. Carter, that probably could have helped us really deal with this. I think Deputy Perry, we need to fix this, address it, upgrade it, do whatever you guys need to do. We're tinkering at the top of the food chain, but we also need to make sure we're consistent and go through the whole system. And y'all figure out what y'all going to do on that. But I'm going to yield because I'm not. That's not my sweet spot. But that's something that needs to be done. Next, since we're talking about transparency, let me go down my list. Departments, we talked about this in our finance committee. At our very next meeting next month, we will be coming to the full board with just like you guys know, if you've been on the finance committee, we have departmental accountability. You know, their variances on a monthly basis, how much they've paid, you know, revenue versus expenses if it's related. That needs to be transparency. So just like when any real board of directors or board of advisors on major companies, they adopt their budgets monthly. And so I think that's a process we can do as part of our expenses. So we're going to bring this forward and not just being about the board being transparent, like say, we all elected, so everybody's budget should be out. Transparency, let's show it. Let's keep it real, let's keep it equal. So that's coming forth to the full board, and so we'll let y'all guys handle it. But again, transparency, and I know Madam CFO is making this recommendation. I'm just giving her some highlights on that. All right, so that was that one. Directors. Again, just should directors be contracted or not contract? Were they notified, not notified? How do we handle deputies? There's some inconsistency. I think there's some things that need to be done across the board. Right, we got these little pockets, and the board now sees it because they're mature. It says, okay, look at this. If we keep allowing this stuff without policy, it's going to keep growing. All right, so that's that. So I did the county charter. I did, what else I got? Oh, wait, I got one more. Bonds. Well, I'm not finished. Bonds. Is James Worthington out there?
He is.
James, can you come help us out, please, just for a minute? I don't get to speak to you that much.
Madam Chair, we have a motion on the floor.
I know, I got the floor.
And this is not germane to that.
Yes, it is. It is.
We asked if you had a question, discussion.
I'm having a discussion. I'm having a declaration where I think there should be a focus on these, on the money that I'm about to get these guys. $124 million. This is germane. I have the floor. And it's germane because I'm telling the county attorney, pay attention and focus on that. It is germane. Like, I'm about to spot your budget one, I won't focus. That's just me. Now we can do this nicely. And let me finish what I'm doing. I was almost through my list. All right, now I want to get, again, I did what I had to do. I did my personnel. I was dead serious about what I was trying to get done. I'm not here playing. I'm not wasting my time. I'm going to give you your airspace. Stay out of mine. Quit cutting across on trying to, don't do that. Leave on a good note. All right, let me finish up. Please, James, we're back to my last point was about bonds. And again, back to funding. And that we allow things to get away from us when developers come in here. We talk about communities and so forth. And this is part of the budget. Is our bond, do we have, like, where are those bonds listed in our budget? Where is that money that we either get back or take back and haven't applied yet? How much money is outstanding, please?
So most of our bonding is done for work that is yet to be done in subdivisions.
Understand.
So typically we're doing that for asphalt topping, sidewalks. Those are kind of your two primary things, landscaping sometimes.
Right.
Those bonds are just a guarantee of payment. So, we don't collect any money unless they default on those bonds, default on those terms. When we default on those terms, if they default on them and we call those bonds in, those bonds will be cashed in and we bring those before the board to accept. I brought some before the board about 6 weeks ago for a subdivision. So once those bonds are cashed in, they're earmarked for those particular projects. Now, I can't speak for finance, how they actually handle that, but those funds are set aside for those particular projects. And then when the project work is needing to be done, whether it be in-house through our Public Works Department or if we contract it out, those funds are used to cover that.
Okay. All right, you've answered my question. This comes full circle why it's relevant. We took money out of the fund balance to get rid of what we called it. This is not called slum anymore. I think it's just called blight and blighted areas. There was 8 communities. We took money out of the fund balance to do that. About $3 million, and we split it between WSA. And again, because we just want to do the right thing. Now, the will and the conscience of the board, it can do what it wants to do. I'm coming full circle. But just know your priority when you burn cash like that. That was my only point. Like, we can do what we want to do, just know the implication. I'm showing a precedent right there why that was important. So you've answered my question about the bond, but can you answer the last question, how much money is left over? Tree fund and that fund, please. Something that has been... Just want to know where the money at.
Thank God for Rosalind. She has all the numbers here. So the tree fund, we have $396,887. And we just received a check, oh, you just took it out. Right now, it's $1,151,000. Not, oh, that's not right. That's another column. Hold on, you took it out. Oh, yeah, that's right. $1,151,934. However, we just received a check for $235,000 that will be rolling over into this at the end of this fiscal year. So it'll go up to 1.3. million.
That's the tree fund.
No, that's the, for the bond.
Bonds, okay.
The bond,
Got it.
the
All right, got
the
it.
bond funds. The tree fund was 396,000.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, just looking at different pockets of money. That's sufficient, Madam Chair. I've got my 5 things I wanted answered, and they answered my math problems. Thank you, ma'am. I yield.
Okay, thank you. I just had something to add to the discussion board. I believe I just wanted to respond to Commissioner Mitchell on the apparatuses that are in need, or the microphones that are needed for our courts across the board. We do have an opportunity, or should I say something that's coming before the board the second week of January regarding broadband, and the announcement has already been made in Chapel Hill News and Views. Greystone Power is entertaining broadband and met with Gary Miller, should I say the president, about a week ago, and he just brought some good news. So there may be an opportunity, I'm thinking in my mind, we have $2 million that's already allocated in ARPA for broadband that could be repurposed to some of the things that you just mentioned. So it's coming. I just wanted to let the cat out the bag so you would understand that opportunity is out there. So it's sitting there, and we will be coming before the board, or should I say the executive team, for repurposing of that broadband money that was allocated in the amount of $2 million, okay? So I just wanted to make a note of that. We have any other discussion? Board?
Yes.
Okay,
I
Commissioner
just
Mitchell?
want to add to that, though. And yes, and I thank you, and I'm fully aware of that. I just want to ask Alex, just so for clarity, so we won't, miss the mark in doing this, that we're speaking of all courts, and the broadband side of this that's the Wi-Fi internet side of it, which is great, but I'm speaking more, you get what I'm saying, Alex, more of equipment that's needed in the courtrooms and how they deliver their messaging and how they do their operations.
Yeah, so for 2022, we expensed $160,000 to upgrade the AV for the Superior Court system. Those are 3 courtrooms, and an additional one, and that will take care of the AV. It'll take care of the remote court. It'll also take care of remote jury and also evidence presentation. And that was paid through ARPA. And
Good.
for 2023, we also plan to continue doing the rest of the courts and upgraded the rest of the courtrooms also through ARPA.
And that system that are you integrating that system with the current system, or are you improving that system?
It's a complete redo.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because when I was in Judge Adams' court, it was a makeshift on top of an existing system that was not communicating.
Yeah, her court is pending next. We're just waiting on the equipment to come in from the vendor.
Got it.
To be installed, but it's a complete rip out and replace.
But you're confident that you've got enough funding and there's no need for this funding because we've got ARPA funds and other funds that are set aside to actually get this done?
Yeah, I'm confident through ARPA we can take care of the courts.
Good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you again. And I yield, Madam Chair.
All right,
And thank
thank-
you for that info too, though. Yes, I'm fully aware. I've kind of been with that on top of that, but that's good to know to add to it. So.
Okay.
And I yield back.
All right. Any other discussion, board? We have a motion and a second on the floor, board. We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. Okay, we have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries. All right, we're going to move on. Thank you, Board of Commissioners, for approving the resolution to adopt the 2023 budget in a unanimous manner. Thank you. We're going to move on to tab number 5. Tab number 5 is approval of the renewal contract with Alice to provide continued SPLOST project management team services for the total fee amount of $823,756.80 to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Board of Commissioners, this item was tabled on November 29th, 2022.
Motion on table?
Yes. So do we have a motion to untable? Yes. Second. Okay. We have a motion and a second to untable. We have a motion and a second. Please, any discussion, if you agree, please raise your right hand to untable. Okay, we have a 5-0 unanimous vote to untable tab number 5, and then I'll restate it again. I'm calling the question. Approval of the renewal. Do we have a motion for the approval of the renewal contract with Atlas to provide continuous SPLOST project management team services for the total fee amount of $823,756.80 to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second, please. Any discussion? Okay, Commissioner Carthen?
So my question is probably to Attorney Coleman. Attorney Coleman, yesterday we talked about the timeline for this $823,756.80. This will go throughout the year and not just till April. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, that that amount is for the year. I think I would recommend that the motion be amended to say to renew and extend, because the renewals, when the contract was executed in April, it had 5 one-year renewals, which would take it through April of next year. So to go through the rest of the year, I would recommend that we extend, that we renew and extend the contract. So just add the word extend to the motion would be my recommendation, to take it through the year.
Okay.
So, Madam Chair, I make a motion to amend tab number 5 to say approval of the renewal and extension of contract with Atlas to provide continued SPLOST project management team services for the total fee amount of $823,756.80 to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review.
Second.
Do we have a second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your votes. Oh, okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Okay, all opposed, none. So we have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries. All right, Board of Commissioners, we're going to move on to our consent agenda, and our Deputy Clerk, Sherry Mathis, will read our consent agenda tonight. Deputy, yeah, you have the floor. And Board of Commissioners, please be mindful that all items are subject to final legal review.
Consent agenda. Number 6, authorization to approve a contract renewal with Terminus to serve as Chief Financial Advisor for Douglas County at a cost of $10,416.67 per month, and a supplemental contract to serve as Chief Administrator Advisor at a cost of $8,333.33 per month, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 7, approval of contract amendment number 1 with Terminus Municipal Advisors, LLC, for government financial support services. The term was January 1, 2023 through July 31st, 2023, in the amount of $8,700 per month to be funded from the finance personnel budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents subject to final legal review. Number 8, authorization to accept a grant award from the Judicial Council of Georgia American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $894,830, amend the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 9, authorization to apply for a grant to fund the 2025 Hazard Mitigation Grant update in the amount of $30,000 with a 5% local match, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 10, authorization to accept an award from the Council of Accountability Court Judges Law Enforcement Grant in the amount of $34,253 with a local match of $4,110, amend the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 11, authorization to accept a grant award from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council Enhancement and Innovation in the amount of $6,932 with no match, amend the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 12, authorization to accept a grant from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council as an extension to the federal fiscal year 2022 coronavirus emergency supplemental funding to the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia in the amount of $34,000 with no match, amend the budget and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 13, approval to renew a contract with Icon Software Corporation for the case management system in the amount of $49,500 to be funded through the department's budget for the courts of the Douglas Judicial District and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 14, authorization to renew an agreement with Comprehensive Program Services, Inc. with Douglas County Sheriff's Office for the period from January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023 to provide enhanced security electronic service for all covered electronic systems at a total cost of $190,276.09 to be funded through the department's budget and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 15, approval of a name change for an employee car allowance agreement for Christy W. Wilson, replacing Alexandria Clark, in the total amount of $4,800 with no impact to the budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 16, approval of certificate of preliminary plat for Holly Springs, Unit 8, Phase 2. Number 17, approval of certificate of preliminary plat for the View at Gruber's Lake, Phase 1, Unit 2. Number 18, approval of a fee modification with Hussey Gay Bill Design Services for the new fire station, Number 9, Thornton Road, Douglas Hill, for the increased scope and construction cost in the amount of $514,113 to be funded through the 2016 SPLOST funds and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 19, authorization for the amendment of the Procurement Policy and Procedures Manual to be in compliance with the Georgia Department of Transportation and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 20, approval to install a street light at the Sumter Way cul-de-sac at a cost of $8.25 per month to be added to the county's utility bill, which is funded from the general fund, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Number 21, approval of the Tyler New World Cloud migration project in the amount of $129,145 to be funded through the 2022 ARPA technology, previously approved, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 22, approval of settlement of Emmett Ward litigation and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 23, authorization to enter into an MOU with Dr. Catherine M. Lewis for an external review of the Douglas County Museum of History and Art in the amount not to exceed $10,000 to be funded through previously approved 2022 budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Number 24, authorization for the chairman to execute the ARPA subrecipient agreement with Community Service Board, Midway Resource Center, Vision 21, Share House, Inc., The Pantry, Lionheart Consulting, Media Miracles, University of West Georgia, Till Marketing, and Cobb Douglas Public Health pending final legal review. Number 25, authorization for the chairman to execute the 2023 annual agreements with Stanco and Associates Justice Consultants, LLC, Douglas County Travel and Tourism, Inc., Thompson Hine, LLC, Lionheart Consulting, the collaborative firm, Ohio River South, Juvenile Court Attorneys, Bonnie Binkley, Jana Evans, Tim McMillan, Sylvia Lester, Anais Lopez Brown, Marcia O'Brien, Amber Walden, consulting service agreements with John Sweat, Anthony Nicolsi, and Philip Harris, and employee car allowances pending final legal review. 26, authorization to engage with the following list of pre-qualified community service providers after each organization completes registration, application, and the MOU process. Douglas County Community Service Board, Cobb and Douglas Public Health, the Cultural Arts Center of Douglasville, Douglas County, the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce, Douglas County DFACS, Douglas County Economic Development Authority, Share House, Inc., the Boys and Girls Club, Vision 21, Inc., Carrollton Douglasville Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, Inc., J.C. Freedom House, Phi Pi Zeta Chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc., Mu 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 Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Inc., Five Strong Scholarship Foundation, Inc., Community Restoration Project, United Methodist Church Women and Children's Homeless Shelter, Sigma Omega Chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., Junior League of Douglas County, the Pink Hat Movement, Inc., the West Georgia Chapter of the Links Incorporated, Douglas Carroll Paulding Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc., American Legion Post 145, AMVETS 118, Kiwanis Club of Douglas County, Fit for the Future Community Development Group, Inc., Rotary Club of Douglas County, Rho Pi Lambda Chapter Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Inc., Nichols Center, Inc., Higher Standards Foundation, Cornerstone Baptist Church, Light and Salvation Outreach, Destined to, Inc., Girls Who Bike, Community Boutique with La Pink, Inc., Strides Horse Park, Open Door Christian Church International, Youth Against Violence, Rare Pearls, and Overcoming Churches of God America, Inc. Number 27, authorization for the county attorney to engage them in the following attorneys: Turner, Ross, and Germain, Board of Assessors Attorney, and Sherrod and Bernard, LLC, Lost Follow-Up, SDS, and other legal matters pending final legal review. Number 28, authorization for the chairman to execute 2023 employment agreements for contract employees pending final legal review.
Thank you so much, Deputy Clerk. Thank you so much. Board of Commissioners, that concludes our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second on the floor for the consent agenda. Board, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Commissioner Guider.
On item number 26, the list of all the organizations, I see churches and sororities and fraternities and things like that. Attorney Coleman, is this legal for the government to be given to organizations? I thought we were going to, as of the work session yesterday, we were just going to put the amount on here and not the list. And now the whole list is on there. Is this legal for the government to give to churches and 501, just any 501(c)(3)?
No, it is not. I think, as I've stated previously, the gratuities clause prohibits making contributions to nonprofits or any organization with certain exceptions. What is allowed is to enter into agreements with those organizations to provide a public benefit. It is critical that there be some.
To provide what? I can't hear you down here, I'm sorry.
That it is illegal to, acceptable to enter into an agreement or MOU to provide with those organizations, to provide them with funds in order for them to provide a public benefit, to provide some service back to the county or the county citizens. As I understand this process.
So each one of these would have to have an MOU?
Each one would have to have an MOU, and which would describe what public benefit will be provided by that entity. And that is contemplated that will be done once a final decision is made with respect to what entities will receive which funds.
So each one of these will be vetted?
They will be vetted. I think that there is a process being prepared and worked on by the ACA for each of them to submit information with respect to what they will do and what services, what public benefit they will provide for the money.
So we have to vet them?
And they will be presented back to the board. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I yield back.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion, board? Okay, if there's no further discussion, please prepare to cast your votes, your electronic votes, board. Have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries to approve the consent agenda. Okay, Vice Chairman Robinson? you
Yeah,
have a
previous question, previous consent agenda, this same item. I want for the camera, for the record, that we're not giving to those nonprofits. We're not contributing to those nonprofits. We're not donating to those nonprofits. We're engaging in service delivery. There are nonprofits out there that do an exceptional job that just haven't been recognized. They haven't been given their chance to have a 13, 15-year direct funding by the board. I've got to say that for all time history. That was the purpose. Equal access, equal opportunity. Madam ACA, can you come up and explain this? I don't want no. Please just explain what your process is. Some things are subtle. I'm more overt. Please explain what the process is in which you will take up at first of the year, now that we've appropriated for this, how you plan to handle this, please.
Thank you, Vice Chair. First of all, I want to just commend the board for this community support that we're providing in exchange for the services that these organizations will be receiving. So we will have an extensive process, and we will make sure to vet every organization. We have not developed the process fully. Jill Hobson has already developed an application that she feels like would work well in for the MOU. I have been in heavy talks with Attorney Coleman and Attorney Ringer about making sure that we get this process down packed and just put a good infrastructure in place so that when we get ready to give these fundings going forward, we will all know the process. The community will know the process. And we're going to put it on the website. It'll be available for everyone to see. One of the things that I'm going to implement is if you want this funding, you'll have to come in and meet with us. I mean, we're going to have a meeting. And you know what you need to do. You will have to have met virtually some sort of way with our grants management team, just to make sure that you are aware of what you're getting into when you accept these funds. You will have to be registered with the county. You have to be a vendor. You will have to complete an application. And then we will bring the information back to you for you to make the final decision about who we will award this funding to. And there will be an MOU approved by legal that will come before you before we ever give anyone any red cent of this money. So there is going to be a process, and I will be overseeing it. So I will make sure that it is above board and that we are making good of this funding, because this is a great thing for the community. And I want to continue making it a great thing and do some good work with these funds.
Correct. Thank you for that. I mean, we, on our ARPA program, I just want to leave you with this, that we did use a church, but we didn't deal with them directly. They came up with their own nonprofit to facilitate our small business program. We were giving small business loans out, just like we gave to Vision 21 for their nonprofit to deal with housing. We've used these type of organizations in the past. This is nothing new. We're just expanding capacity. So once you guys get in there, yes, there are borders, there are boundaries, but I want to make sure for the record and for the camera. No, we're not doing nothing illegal. We know exactly what we're doing. We're expanding capacity. That's the goal. It was to break this thing up. It was to let other people be seen. That was the goal. And we accomplished it. Thank you, board, for supporting that. I just had to do that for the record, Madam Chair. I yield. I got nothing else to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice Chair. We're going to move on to announcements. Board of Commissioners certainly want to yield to you all first if you have announcements. Board, any announcements tonight? Okay, being none.
Yeah, just
Vice
real
Chairman.
quick, and that's why I'm trying to reserve my comments really for Thursday for my annual State of the District. And will I really give a perspective on how I've seen the world, how I pretty much have ended this what I call a Senate run as the vice chair. I've got to close some things out. It was a great run, and I plan to address a lot of things during that particular setting. You know, I'm going to get in and get out. I'm going to speak my truth and stuff, but come on out, and we'll talk about the future of District 2, how it fits in the broader context of, obviously, the county and some of the initiatives that are going on. But again, you can just tune in. It may be wet. All you got to do is dial in what's happening. You guys are going to beam me live. So I look forward to that. This coming Thursday, which is the 15th, it's going to be exactly at 6:30 to 8. Thanks so much, Madam Chair, and I will yield for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements, board? Okay. Being none, we'll bring forth our Communications Director, Rick Martin.
Thank you again, Madam Chair and Vice Chair. Following, regarding your State of the District, I want to let the public and the citizens know that, it will be virtual. They can see it live on Douglas County Happenings Facebook page, DCTV 23's Facebook page, as well as DCTV 23's YouTube page. Also, regarding Vice Chair Robinson, save the date, Glaucoma Awareness Month Forum, presented by Vice Chairman and District 2 Commissioner Kelly Robinson, is happening on January 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. Public will be invited, I should say the public's invited, to learn all about the experience of being blind and the ability to hear from notable experts. Another Save the Date event, the 7th Annual How to Do Business in Douglas County, hosted by Vice Chair and District 2 Commissioner Robinson, is happening on January 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Douglasville Conference Center. Volunteer Douglas and the Douglas Youth Commission will be hosting the annual Give Drive now through December 16th. We'll be collecting new blankets, coats, canned goods, and baby food to distribute to those in need. Give Center drop-off locations can be found on celebratedouglascounty.com. For more information, please emaillalexander@douglascountyga.gov. The Douglas County Citizens Improvement Survey continues. Please tell us how we can make your experience better in Douglas County. Look for the sign in your local library, local senior center, Connect Douglas, and the county courthouse. Keep Douglas County Beautiful will be hosting the 2023 Bring One for the Chipper Christmas Tree Recycling event on Saturday, January 7th at the Home Depot located at 1000 Thornton Road in Lithia Springs from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Citizens are encouraged to bring their live Christmas trees for recycling. For more information, email Imaje Stewart at istewart@douglascountyga.gov. The Douglas County Board of Commissioners is accepting applications to serve on the following boards: Animal Control Advisory Board, Cemetery Preservation Committee, Paratransit Advisory Board, Hospital Authority, Department of Family and Children's Services Board, and the Travel and Tourism Board. If you're interested in serving on one of these boards, please contact Lisa Watson, the county clerk, by email lwatson@douglascountyga.gov. The Douglas County Courthouse will be closed on Friday, December 23rd, and Monday, December 26th. In observance of the Christmas holidays, the courthouse will also be closed on Monday, January 2nd, in observance of the New Year's holiday. Douglas County Fire EMS, Sheriff's Office, and E911 will be open as always to protect and serve the residents of Douglas County. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you so much, Communications Director Rick Martin. Certainly wanted to publicly thank our Vice Chairman, Kelly Robinson, for serving 6 consecutive years as Vice Chairman, and want to extend my heartfelt appreciation for his service, and also extend a welcome at the beginning of the year for Commissioner Terenia Carthen, who will be serving as the Vice Chair for the next 2 years, and we're excited about her coming aboard, so that it's happening soon. And just wanted to publicly just thank Commissioner Robinson, who served as vice chair, and then also welcome Commissioner Carthen for our next meeting, so you will see her in that role as vice chairman. Certainly, with no further ado, would like to commend, and with all due respect, Commissioner Guider. This is her last meeting. She has done a yeoman's job here in Douglas County, a 40-year run. That's commendable. A woman of strength and tenacity. 40 years, that's nothing to sneeze at. That means she's committed and dedicated to Douglas County, and we appreciate everything you've done, Commissioner Guider. Your voice has been, you have led with conviction with your voice, and you will always be respected in our county, and we appreciate everything that you've done to serve as for Commissioner of District 4 since 2010, and I believe you served 28 years as our tax commissioner. So thank you. Board of Commissioners and the citizens of Douglas County, if you could join me in standing with a standing ovation for this wonderful commissioner. We have something planned for Commissioner Guider on December 20th, and if you could, Communications Director, if you could just make that announcement. Yes.
Yes, we have a wonderful reception scheduled December 20th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. To celebrate Commissioner Guider's run. And, the public is invited as well as staff, third floor, courthouse, atrium gallery. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you so much. And congratulations again, Commissioner. And I would love for you to say a few words.
Just
Absolutely.
a few words, because I know it's getting late. I just want to say it has been my honor to serve this county, to serve with these directors and this staff out here. I tell you, many of y'all have become very close friends of mine, and I treasure your friendship, and I hope I see you around. But I can truly say that I have always had in the forefront of my brain, my mind, the betterment of this county. I've always loved this county. Both my kids were born here. This is home. I don't want to move. And I always put Douglas County first. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about a title or anything. It was about y'all. And I hope y'all understand that. And rarely a day goes by where some citizen doesn't come up to me and thank me. Grocery store, nail shop, wherever, restaurant. And that means a lot for a politician to be thanked. And I just think I want the citizens to know how much I care and love y'all, and the staff too. Thank y'all very much. And thank y'all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Let's give her another hand. All right, Board of Commissioners, certainly I want to remind our citizens, number one, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and best wishes on a fantastic 2023 as we enter into the new year in January. But I know we won't have our next meeting until January 3rd and 4th. So happy holidays to everyone, and Merry Christmas. And Board of Commissioners, if there's nothing else to come before this body, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
All right.